Itam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Tisvapadantikam. Welcome everyone to this transcendental program of studying the Param Dharma called the Bhagavad Dharma, or the ultimate duty of humankind. Currently we are studying the Prema Bhakti Chandrika by Sri Narottam Das Thakur. And very systematically he is providing us the education targeted to only one purpose, Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam. The heart's desire, the fulfillment of the heart's desire of Sri Bhagwan Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And so this is the whole mission of Mahaprabhu, which was spearheaded by Sri Rupa Goswami. That's why Narottam Das Thakur in the beginning of Prema Bhakti Chandrika, it's a blessing. He's seeking the blessing of Sri Rupa Goswami. He has spearheaded this mission of Mahaprabhu, taking subservience. Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. So when we accept the subservience by surrendering to the lotus feet of the great souls, the pure devotees, that means we express our full agreement and readiness, assist them or do the same thing which they have asked us to do. So this is a wonderful culture for our complete transformation, our complete purification. So Prabhupada says that Krishna is supremely pure, correct? Conditioned soul is anything but pure. What a contrast. What should be the purpose? In the human form of life, our purpose, goal should be to become fully pure. We have to become fully pure. And actually, the glory of our existence as a human being, the human life becomes glorious only when we become fully pure. The human being actually gains his or her beauty. The definition of beauty on this path of pure devotional service. See the pure devotional service. How the purity is defined of the soul. The property of the soul is his consciousness, correct? Our beauty is defined by the purity of our consciousness and conscience. This principle should so much resonate in the sadhaka that he always remains awakened. Yes, to watch our consciousness and conscience. Only to provide us the path of progressiveness and to enlighten this path of pure devotional service. The very name of this scripture, Prema Bhakti Chandrika, it's lightening. If any darkness or any blockages, any hindrances due to the darkness of ignorance. So this Prema Bhakti Chandrika is a perfect perfect arrangement, perfect collection of guidelines at every stage and making us aware of and also provides all the ingredients for our encouragement that we can become very determined and very focused and also very motivated. So this motivation is not mundane sort. Rather, other than this motivation, every other motivation is denied. Anya vilashita shunya. Vilasha means motivation. Ulterior motives. Except this motive that our individual collective participation, sacrifice to impress Mahaprabhu, to serve Mahaprabhu. Yes, we are ready to what He have come to give us. We are wholeheartedly ready to receive it in order to please Him. So, in that very purpose, to fulfill that very purpose, what we study in the last sloka, 33, where Narottam Das Thakur, because when we have to hanker for something which is so priceless, then one has to demonstrate one's genuine humility, because the priceless thing or ultimate thing is yet to be achieved, we have yet to become blessed with. So until we get it, the attitude of humility, also the acknowledgement of so much mercy we have received. So our asha bandhata, our firm asha, first firm hopefulness, no hopelessness, absolute hopefulness that we will definitely become blessed with what Mahaprabhu is going to give us. So he's in our present status, ajatarati. We have not come to the level where the pure loving sentiment is ignited in our heart. So we are our progressiveness. We are moving toward that immediate goal, the sentiment of love, the bhava, the rati becomes jatarati, becomes manifest in our heart. That experience we have to first, ultimate target Sri Radha Dashyam. Immediate is that sadhaka, from sadhana bhakti to bhav bhakti. Bhav means rati. So that stage we have to, and for that, he's supplicating with humility that you are the ocean of mercy and the friend of the fallen. हीनार्थाधिक साधके त्वयि तथापि अच्छेद्य मूलासति हे गोपी जन वल्लभ व्यथयते ha ha madashaiva mam. Whatever fallen, and I'm plagued with so many unwanted, unbona fide desires which have, which have grabbed me real existence. So, but I'm in need. So please notice me. I have fallen in a ditch of false desires and I am swallowed by the whale of lust. Oh Lord, save me. What an amazing. So, although for Krishna, mercy is like it is compared to the ocean, mercy or compassion. So, this compassion that consists of his innate potency never takes a seat in the heart of those who are proud of their wealth, Jan Aishwarya Shruti Shri, the pride is generally on the material platform due to one's opulence, because of high birth, so called. Shruti, because of one's education, and because of one's beauty. Mhm. So those who are proud of their wealth, connections, birth, and whatever, that mercy doesn't get registered in the heart of those who have that material pride of these things. Hence, that's why in Nautam Das Thakur, as if he is speaking on our behalf, he's speaking, the Adhama Janara Bandhu, Mohe Prabhu Karo Avadhan. O Lord, you are the friend of the fallen, and I am also very fallen. So we have good combination. You are the friend of the fallen. You are the Patita Pavan. You are the deliverer of the fallen one. And I am also very fallen. So, hence, I am worthy of receiving your compassion. Please think of me in this way. I have recognized you. I have that you are Patita Pavan. And I am fallen. So we have a good combination. So please notice me. Think of me at least once. So these prayers are very powerful. From the prayers of Narottam Das Thakur, the practitioner like us can learn that those who are on the path of devotion must give up all pride of their physical connections and become or consider oneself, themselves, fallen if they wish to receive the mercy of Sri Guru, because the sense of qualification, the sense of accomplishment, and the receiving of mercy, they don't go together. They only go ill together. So if one has to consider oneself, fallen means we have self-deprived. Na? Every time we are given the opportunity as a human being, just think of how many multiple times we have remained fallen. So one should not be ashamed to acknowledge that one is very fallen. And especially if they wish to, if we wish to receive the mercy of Sri Guru, Vaishnavas, and the Supreme Lord. And the big paradox is that although the devotee, by very definition, is endowed with all the wonderful qualities, Yashasti Bhakti Bhagavati Akinchana. Devotee means pure devotee. They have no other sense of possession or claiming anything except the lotus feet of the divine couple in our context. Yashyasti Bhaktir Bhagavati Akinchana Sarvai Gunais Samasate Sura. All the divine qualities or wonderful qualities. Due to the wonderful qualities, one is considered like divine, devata, worshipable, honorable. So that's the sense. He becomes endowed with all the wonderful qualities because of this one quality, because of having the pure loving attitude for the Lord. So without becoming a devotee, one cannot be called to have any qualities. What is the symptom of a devotee? In spite of having all the wonderful qualities, all the devotee is the vessel of all good qualities. He thinks of himself to be very fallen and low. That is the acid test. One cannot claim that I am a devotee, so I'm very elevated and everything. If somebody is devotee, it is for others to think of him as very, very pure and advanced. But if one thinks of oneself as very pure and advanced, see the paradox, the biggest paradox on this path of pure devotion service, because what one thinks of oneself is very critical, because if one one thinks of oneself as very accomplished and qualified and elevated, then that means he is not in need of anything. Our emphasis is that even if we have become a pure devotee, there is something yet to be achieved. No? The Sakshat Kainkayatva of Srimati Radharani. We have yet to be transferred. We have yet to that realm where we join those who are in the confidential service of Srimati Radharani, of the divine couple. So that fortune is yet to be achieved. No? One has to sustain this hankering. Until we get there, we haven't got anything as yet. So no, at any stage of our progressiveness on this path of pure devotional service, sadhaka has to remain that sense of destitute, bereft of it. I have yet to get it. I don't have it. So sense of accomplishment and sense of being qualified and all this glorification by others, they can distract us. Why should I not think of myself as very elevated or special? Because everybody considers me special. Everybody, everybody is ready to say, I got so many medals and so many certificates of this and that. So everybody around me is calling me qualified. Why should I not think that I'm qualified? But this is where the catch is. It's very subtle. We have yet to attract the ultimate mercy of Krishna. Once our goal is accomplished, we cannot become lethargic, or we cannot just lay back and just become complacent. We cannot afford to do that. So when attains the platform of pure devotional service, a devotee, a sadhaka, becomes endowed with all the wonderful qualities. But this is for others too. But he thinks that because he's so fallen, that's why he is still deprived to achieve the ultimate destination. And naturally, it's a nice sadhaka should always remember that he's not independent. So our dependence is expressed through that humility. Correct? Even in the material world, we express our dependence on someone or something. We are not arrogant, we are humble. So not only here we are dependent, but especially to attain that status, we are definitely dependent on those who can bestow that mercy. Sri Radha Pada Sevana Amritamahu Taddatum Isho Bhavan. We have to find our connectivity, absolute connectivity with those who are capable to bestow that fortune of Radha Dashyam upon us. So when by the grace of the saints of the spiritual master, the pure devotee, the conditioned soul takes shelter of the path of devotion, he becomes aware of this secret in their company. What is the secret? That's the sense of humility that one develops. What is our position? We are so utterly dependent. And especially to become dependent on the person who can really fulfill our heart's innermost aspiration, Radha Dashyam. Naturally, it's a kripa, it's a mercy and mercy alone that will do it, not any sense of our qualification. So when the spiritual knowledge awakens, he thinks himself to be unqualified and unable to perform any activity. What a paradox. When spiritual knowledge awakens, he thinks herself or himself to be unqualified and unable to perform any activity, since he or she has lost the false sense of doership. What is our capacity? We are just used as an instrument to do anything, but doership is only mercy. It's a kripa which makes everything happen in our life, which can be appreciated. No? If something is not appreciated, we don't call it kripa, mercy. So anything positive, wonderful happens in our life, it's a kripa. Because for claiming and deserving what we have, so we must give all the credit to that person or those persons who have shown so much mercy. And of course, the source of all mercy is Krishna. So ultimately, the credit goes to Krishna. But Krishna remains invisible. Krishna is indirect. So those who bring Krishna's mercy, those who cause our connectivity to Krishna and Mahaprabhu, to Sri Radha Dasyan, they are perceived as more than Krishna, or no less than Krishna, because how much merciful Krishna is, we can only imagine, correct? But when the mercy is perceived by us, in person, in our life, in our present life, then we can consider God's mercy manifesting in our life. Somebody becomes so merciful. So when this realization strikes in the heart of the devotee, that he experiences the powerful management of the Lord and surrenders to his lotus feet in all respects. He shows his readiness to surrender. And actual surrender to one who is perceived as his representative, considering himself to be very low and fallen. So this is called dainya. And it is the treasure of all the devotees' practice. Dainya is still hungry, still feeling destitute for the real thing. So the dainya is the Swarup Lakshan of Prema Bhakti. And what is the Tatastha Lakshan? When a person is in dainya, in humility, because he is unsatisfied, atripti. Whatever he has got, even wonderful qualities and wonderful experience, but still he is unsatisfied, atripti. He is not fulfilled as yet. Although many fulfilling, many wonderful experiences has gone through, but still he remains unfulfilled, atripta, unsatisfied. An unsatisfied person cannot afford to be arrogant. One is to only through this mood of attitude of humility one can attract the ultimate fulfillment, and that will swiftly attract the Lord's mercy on them. Anybody who sustains this attitude of humility, the mercy is attracted. And especially, this is the definition of Jatarati. Jatarati means practicing devotees that have awakened their dormant love for Krishna. That status we have to. And in that status only, the genuine humility will be expressed, natural, because now their hankering is so exclusively to attain the vision of the divine couple and to become blessed with the direct service of the lotus feet of the divine couple. So when the dormant love when becomes manifest or awakened in the heart of a devotee, at that stage, although he has become the best, that is the pure devotee's symptom. But now he is imbued with loving sentiments for the Lord. Thinks of only what will please him, what will increase his joy. He is totally removed from self-centeredness because now the hankering for Krishna makes him so Krishna or Radha Krishna centered. So in that position, although he has become the best, he has become the greatest, or he is perceived as the best, but he himself considers himself, he considers himself to be low. That is the paradox. So if you think of ourselves as not having attained that status as yet, then from now on, from this very moment, we can at least sustain this attitude of considering oneself to be low. There is nothing wrong. It's a reality, and why should we run away from the reality? Why should we hide the reality? And especially hide from whom? Hide from those who already know. So, O Lord, please remember once how low and fallen I am. In that supplication, as if Krishna is, suddenly the spurti as if the indication of, the strong indication of the presence of the Abhishta, the desired object of our worship. As if Krishna, as if Radha Krishna, giving some indication, asking them, but you want me to remember you, but should I remember you for what? For what reason? Give me some reason. So then Nautam Das Thakur answers, Podino asata bhole kama timingile gile. Ohe nate kuru paritrane. I have fallen in a ditch of false desires, and I am swallowed by the whale of lust. O Lord, save me, just as in the previous Tripadi also. The asata bhole, the temptation of the unwanted desires. Again, he is speaking of the asata bhole. So, asata bhole, the two parts. Asat means temporary, which is not permanent, and bhola means temptation or trap. So, anything which is false or perishable bodily objects. So, in conditioned state, the things which are perishable, temporary, false doesn't mean that they are not existing, but because they are, it's like something which does not have any intrinsic value. We are trapped by those temporary things, connections, and all these things. So that causes our delusion. So asatera satya karimani. Hari Hari Vipule Janama Goaino. Asat means which is temporary, which is perishable, which is false. False in the sense that it appears like a mirage. So the asat, asat can be of two kinds, which is like illusion. You seeing something as if it is there, but it is not. So that illusion is also asat. And delusion means under the influence of many things. So delusion and illusion, when they both combine, that either one becomes trapped by the temporary or things due to under the influence of some intoxication or some attraction, or even deliberately, even if it is not what it appears to be, like in a mirage. It appears is water to everybody, even to learned person. Everybody it appears like water. The enlightened person, awakened soul, knows that although it appears as water, it is not water. So, but one who is not aware of it, because it appears as water, one may fall trap to it, like a deer who runs after it, never reaches it, thinking now I will just next step I will be there. It never is there. It doesn't exist, although it appears to be existing. So because of that, he, thus being deluded, he falls into a ditch of delusion. So from such a delusion or illusion comes the idea that our this present bodily things, body and bodily things and relations, our physical conditions are real. This is our real identification, real identity. This is what we really are. Which makes the people who have forgotten their intrinsic position. What is our intrinsic position as compared to our identification with our physical conditioning, physical body and the things and its relations? What we have forgotten, what is our intrinsic position? A sadhaka should ask this question again and again. What is our intrinsic position? What we are, what we are supposed to contemplate, what we have are supposed to be aware all the time. For us, because we are targeting in this study Sri Radha Dashyam, so our intrinsic position is we are Sri Radhas, we are Radharani's, the choicest maid servant. But those who have forgotten their this intrinsic sublime, the highest, most sublime, the sense of highest perfection of our human potential. So if you forget this, then we end up yearning for money and other things. They become so obsessed with this that they cannot understand that these things are temporary and miserable. The end result of hankering for and also after having them, becoming attached to them, become engrossed with them. The end result is these things are temporary and miserable, even if they, but what can a conditioned soul do? Because he has forgotten. He's forgotten his intrinsic position, which is so sublime. So he ends up, even if they have heard hundreds of instructions on that, oh, this Dukkhalayam Shashvatam, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukkha Doshanudarshanam. One should be able to perceive, see anything, our existence, in which we have to go through this Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi, the four stages. How can we be so attached to it? Dukkhalayam Shashvatam. Even if we think that is very blissful, very wonderful situation I have, it's just a matter of time. Our perception will change. So we cannot call actually any so-called happy situation of this in the material world. We cannot be proud of it. We cannot be so attached to it because the situation will definitely change. Since it will definitely change, the very situation when it has changed becomes the very becomes the cause of our misery. The very body which gives us the sense of pleasure and gratification, in due course of time, the very body becomes the cause of our misery. And now, since we have become attached to our body, the misery increases because the body cannot provide anymore the fulfillment. It has become the cause of troubles. So, just by becoming attached to the body, which is now giving the troubles. We are trapped because we don't have the replacement. We have forgotten what is the another option. So a sadhaka has to become aware that what is in the offing, what is coming during our material existence through the journey of this body. We should become aware and not fall trapped to the bodily attachment. And but those who remain conditioned, in spite of hearing hundreds of instructions that about the temporary and the miserable nature of this material body, they spend their whole lives serving their false desires, unwanted, lusty desires. The nature of the body is such that the scriptures describe how fools yearn to enjoy a body which is filled with four things like stool, urine, worms, and stinking bad smell. But the wise men are not attached to such a repulsive body. So many described. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that, but our getting trapped in this bodily attachment is like our position. Our position is a whale in the ocean, but our material desires, lusty desires, they devour us like a timingila, big fish. Such a big fish that it devours even the big fish. So it is lusty desires that swallow me like a timingila whale. This shows the power and dread caused by lust. Or the asad bhola, means it's temporary illusionary trap or temptation. So an insignificant human being is unable to defend himself or herself against its grip. Hence it is said, "Oh hey Nath, I am trapped by this. And I don't see getting rescued by me, by anyone around me. Koro Paridhana, O Lord Sri Krishna, you alone are strong enough to protect me from the grip of this powerful lust. Therefore, please save me." Now, after expressing this precarious position, situation of oneself, and humility begging Krishna's ultimate mercy, and sincerely the desire to be able to sincerely worship Krishna is expressed in today's sloka. It's in continuation. Very amazing. And we just express our unlimited gratitude towards all the Guru Vargas coming in the disciplic succession of Srila Rupa Goswami, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's primary associate. How much they have shared with us and how much they have caused the enlightenment for us. But we should take this enlightenment to full awakening, that we can remain incessantly enlightened by such directions and such shedding the light on the path of pure devotion. And by shedding that light, removing all the obstacles in the form of darkness or ignorance. Javat janama more aparadhe hoinu bhore nishkapate na bhajinu to ma tathapi tumi se gati na chhadi ho pranapati amasama nahika adha yavat janam. aparadhe hoino. Yavat, ever since I have taken birth in this life, in this body, I have been absorbed in committing aparadhe hoino bora. I have been committing offenses since my very birth. Nishkapate na bhajino toma. I could not worship you. I did not worship you seriously and honestly, without duplicity. Nonetheless, this is the point. Nonetheless, these slokas are amazing. In the first line, first part of the sloka expresses the problem. The second line, second part is the solution. So, making his case that not very hopeful, but tathapi tumi se gati. Still, you are my goal. So please don't let me down. Tathapi tumi se gati na chhadi. Don't give up on me. Please don't let me down. Because you are Pranapati, you are the Lord of my life. Ama sama nahika adhama. There is no one more fallen than me. So this is the nature of a sincere worship. No matter how fallen and so many faults and everything. The hope against all hope is that since you are my whole, you are my goal, you are most merciful. And I have absolute hope that you will not let me down. So please don't let me down. O Lord of my life, there is no one more fallen than me. So you cannot ignore me. You cannot reply me because that would be against your prestige. Because you are the deliverer of the fallen. And I'm the most fallen. So my number is number one. So I deserve your I'm eligible because of my being fallen. This acknowledgement of oneself being fallen is very powerful, correct? How many have the courage to acknowledge that one is fallen? When, when one perceives the mercy of the Lord, mercy is perceived only with that attitude of humility. So one sustains that sense of fallen. I'm so fallen that your small mercy won't do. Of course, a lot of mercy one has received. Greed for the mercy is ignited. So, in order to get more mercy or the ultimate mercy, a sadhaka never loses on um, humility, feeling of fallenness, until we are taken up all the way. One has to still feel full. So this is the humility has to be sustained. It has to gradually keep on increasing and increasing. More humility, more desperation, more destitute one feels, more possibility of attracting the ultimate mercy. So throughout one's life, as a sadhaka, we have to sustain this humility and the sense of destitute and desperation to go all the way. Instead, Prabhupada says, we have lived so many lifetimes for so many purposes. Let this lifetime be given to Krishna. We have lived many lifetimes in forgetfulness of Krishna and pursuing our agendas, and let this lifetime, just this small lifetime, 50, 60, 70 years, to be given. What is the ratio between in the spectrum of eternity? What is 50, 68 years? Nothing, no? But only an awakened soul can think like that. Yes, we can do it. Let this life be devoted to Krishna and Krishna's devotees. Because we are not alone, but the fruit is the benefit, the reward is is the ultimate thing. So, Narottam Das Thakur's humility gradually increases, considering himself to be very offensive and fallen and bereft of all sadhana. This is the only justification why we couldn't make it all the way, because of shortcoming is on our part, lacking is on our part. So this acknowledgement of lacking and shortcomings on one's part impresses Krishna, attracts Krishna. So these are the secrets are being revealed to all of us, taking a humble position. So considering himself to be very offensive and fallen and bereft of all sadhana, he says, Javat janam more aparadhe hoinu pore nishkapate na bhajenu toma. I have been absorbed in committing offenses since my very birth, and I did not worship you seriously and honestly, without duplicity. Although, what a paradox. Is that the position of Narottam Das Thakur? No, you know. Although he is the embodiment of prema, still he speaks these words of humility in this shloka, in this tripadi, which is like a most beneficial, reviving elixir for the practicing devotees. So, Narottam Das Thakur speaks these words of humility. And what to speak for us? We definitely need this. This would be like a real solution. Actually, he's showing, yes, this attitude will give us the nectar. Most beneficial, reviving elixir for the practicing devotees. Because our obsession or our desperation for mercy will be sustained through this attitude of humility, that I am fallen, I'm wretched, I'm deprived, but you are most merciful. So please don't give up on me. Of all the obstacles that lie in the way in the life of a progressive devotee, or on the path of your progressive devotion, what is the biggest? Tathapi aparadhe hoinu bhora. Offenses are the most powerful. It's the consideration of the offense. This offense on our part deprives us to get the full benefit of chanting Krishna's name. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, we come across this expression of Mahaprabhu. Ek Krishna Nam Name Kore Sarva Papa Nasha Premera Karan Bhakti Kare Na Prakasha. Ek Krishna Nam Kare Sarva Papa Nasha. The potency of uttering one name of Krishna, it can destroy serve all the accumulated, all the sins we have committed in innumerable lifetimes, piles of just one uttering, pure uttering of Krishna Nam can destroy all the papas of the collection of all the sinful sins, And what it does, Premere Karana Bhakti Karana Prakas, and it ignites, it manifests devotion in the heart. Just one, the potency of just uttering one name. Premere Udaya Hoye Premere Vikara Sweda Kampa Pulakadi Gadgadashkrudhar. One uttering of one name, it manifests the Premera vikara means transformation. And as a result, experiences the sweda, perspiration, shivering, excitement, and choking of the throat, gadgad, ashru, shedding tears, all these wonderful sattvic vikara transformations manifest by the potency of uttering one pure name, prema becomes manifest in the heart. And the symptoms of prema, this ashta sattvic vikara also manifest. Sweda pula kadi anayase bhavakshaya. As a result, our engrossment in this material existence is removed. Anayase, without any other endeavor now, bhavakshaya, this our engrossment, our being trapped in this material existence of birth and death, is removed. Krishnera sevan, anayase bhavakshaye Krishnera sevan, eka Krishna namer phale paye etudham. So just by the strength and power of uttering one pure name of Krishna, so much treasure is achieved. Heno Krishna Nama Jadi Loiva. Now the problem is, if one uttering pure name of Krishna has such potency, if we have uttered Krishna's name so many times, Heno Krishna Nama Jadi Bahubar, many times we have taken, Tabu Jadi Prema Nahe Nahi Ashruta. In spite of that, we don't experience the symptoms of ecstasy and perspiration, shivering, shedding tears from the eyes, etc., then what's the reason? The potency of Krishna name is such. How the potency, because in what comes in between, if one name, utterance of one name can give that effect, if somebody is trying to strike something, if it directly hits, then it has the full effect. But if something comes in between, some protection, then it doesn't have that effect. So what comes between holy name and its full effect manifest in our life? The aparadha. So we are so-called protected by aparadha, or we are blocked by aparadha to be able to experience the full effect of uttering Krishna's name. Tabe jani aparadha tahate prachur. Then, because I'm not feeling that effect of chanting Krishna's name, it's sure that it is only due to aparadha. So many aparadhas. Krishna Nama Bijatate na hoye ankur. Krishna Nama Bijatate na hoye ankur. Utterance of one name of Krishna. It's like a seed. It has to sprout. Seed is sown, the atmosphere is very favorable, then everything, it starts growing, it sprouts and grows. That's why the seed of Krishna's holy name does not sprout. One single name of Krishna destroys all sin, causes prema to appear, and also reveals loving devotion. When prema arises, loving symptoms like perspiration, shivering, goose pimples, stuttering, and the shedding of tears become manifest. The cycle of transmigration, birth and death, is easily breached, removed, and devotional services attained. All these treasures are attained by the utterance of a single name of Krishna. However, one may chant this name of Krishna many times, but if prema still does not appear and no tears are shed, then I know that many offenses must be committed, so that the seed of Krishna's name, holy name, does not sprout. So just as a powerful seed will sprout when it falls into fertile soil, What a wonderful analogy. Just it's a powerful seed. So Krishna name itself is a very powerful seed. Will sprout when it falls into fertile soil and is showered by rain, and in time becomes a tree, as long as it is carefully fenced and sprinkled. Similarly, the seed of Krishna's holy name falls into the soil of the devotee's heart and is sprinkled by the water of hearing and chanting to grow into a wish-yielding vine of devotion. And in due course of time, certainly yields flower in the form of bhava bhakti, yields flowers of bhava and fruits of love. So before the fruit, the flower comes. So flower is compared to the bhava bhakti, the rati. And further culmination of further fruit becomes a fruit of love, which is the ultimate goal. However, if that seed is thrown on stone ground, it is impossible for it to sprout in any way. Wow. Similarly, the heart of an offender is like a stone ground where the seed of devotion deduced from the holy name, the seed of devotion. What is the seed of devotion? Uttering of the holy name cannot sprout. This is why there is such a powerful consideration of aparadha or offenses within the Vaishnava tradition. We have to be very, very careful. So, but in Chaitanya Charitamrita itself, further we find that the mercy of Sri Gaur Nitai, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Nityananda Prabhu, such that it does not give such consideration of aparadha. It's not that if somebody has committed aparadha, now he is deprived. He cannot receive the mercy. In spite of becoming even aparadhi, the availability of mercy is there. Even it's not that somebody is blocked, somebody is blacklisted. But nonetheless, there is a consideration of aparadha. Whosoever received the mercy, their aparadhas were first absorbed. It's not that one continues the aparadha and without doing the proper atonement. Atonement causes the removal of aparadha. So it's not that, but the possibility of receiving mercy is there even for even the biggest offenders. That's the point. Although it says in Chaitanya Charitamrita later that Chaitanya Nityanande nahi esab vichar naam hoite prema dena vahe ashrudhar. In case of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, there is no such consideration of aparadha, it is said. Their names instantly yield praise and tears begin to flow. These words may make one think that Sri Chaitanya Dev, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda do not consider any offenses, and the mere utterance of their holy names will give prema to the chanter. However, in the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we find out that Mahaprabhu is not so appreciative of the offenders. It's not just undermining their offense or just ignoring. Okay, oh, you committed offenses, so still I'm showing you. He showed his disinterest, aversion towards the offenders. Of course, Mahaprabhu, Nityananda were very merciful, and the mere utterance of their holy names will give prema to the chanter. The potential is there. However, in the Navadip pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we can see that the scholars, the blasphemers, and heretics were vilifying the Lord because of their offensive nature towards the Lord. What the Lord could do is still go and, oh, I have come to give you mercy. No, those who are so averse, such blasphemous and heretics, vilifying the Lord, how can the Lord bestow mercy upon them in that condition? So he devised a way, even to the most offenders, he devised a way whereby they can receive the mercy of Mahaprabhu. He has come to bestow upon all. So what means the Lord devised? Anybody knows? That the Lord saw no other means to redeem the blasphemers by giving them prema than to accept the order of sannyasa. After he had accepted the sannyas order, the blasphemers offered obeisances unto his lotus feet and would become freed from their offenses. Thus the Lord would bestow prema upon them. So it is described in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So this one, another instance, again, one time Gopal Chapal committed an offense to Srivas Pandit, and the Lord gave him prema after making him apologize to Srivas Pandit. First time the Lord ignored him, but after he took sannyas, he bowed down to the Lord. The Lord asked him, go and ask forgiveness. Ask for forgiveness from Srivas Pandit. So the Lord gave him prema only after making him apologize to Srivas Pandit first. It is even mentioned that his own mother Sachi committed an offense to Sri Advaitacharya, calling not the most respectful words, that he snatched his education, his association, caused the renunciation of Mahaprabhu taking sannyas. She was not very respectful in addressing, calling him something like old man and like something like that. So even his own mother Shachi committed an offense to Sri Advaitacharya, and that the Lord bestowed prema upon her only after she had taken Advaita's foot dust on her head. Therefore, it is not that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Nityananda do not consider offenses, but that they did not consider who was qualified for receiving prema or not. Even the biggest offenders, they were provided a way to receive the prema. But devising the way, they had to become absolved from offense by apologizing from the very persons they committed offense to. So first they destroyed the offensive attitude of the offenders before bestowing prema. Correct. So from all this it can be understood that offenses form the most powerful obstacles in the practice of devotion, or to attain the perfection in the practice of devotion. Nautamdar Thakur Deswai says, Yavat Janama Mura Aparada Hoino Bora. I have been committing offenses ever since I was born. So I have been stuck in the quagmire, kitchen mud of offensiveness. If one is stuck in the wet land, muddy land, even if one tries to come out of it, it's so difficult. Completely covered over due to the mud of offensiveness. In other words, because of my constant engagement in offensive activities, I have lost the ability to be cautious about committing offenses. Such a precarious position. But anybody who acknowledges one's precarious position, he has definitely a way out. Most people conditioned, so they are not even aware. They are so lost, so clueless, no solution. So only one who becomes enlightened on this path of pure devotional service, he naturally acknowledges his frailty, his fallenness. Because of my constant engagement in offensive activities, I have lost the ability to be cautious about committing offenses. Verbally, we constantly warn about offenses. No? We do agree because, yes, offenses is offensive. But actually, we cannot take care about offenses. Why? We are not just fixed in committing offenses. We are so used to, so determined. Don't care. Their influence will block our progressiveness. It will block the possibility of attaining the loving platform of love, pure love. Not only we are fixed in committing, it's like becoming our second nature. People just commit offenses through their voice, through their mind, through their actions, left and right, without caring it. The way, the conditioning, even for a sadhaka, unfortunately, even he justifies whatever he has been doing or is still doing. And so absorbed, not only just become fixed in committing offenses, we may become absorbed in offenses, as if they are not offenses. How can we justify offensiveness on our part, in our thought, in our speech, in our actions, even? But the practitioner who desires his own welfare always carefully gives up all offenses that obstruct his worship, such as namaparada and sevaparada. Offenses to the chanting of the holy name, and the sevaparada means offenses in temple worship, and constantly tries to worship in an inoffensive manner. If not, an offensive worshipper will remain deprived of the real fruits of his worship, which is the attainment of prema. So that was the first part of the sloka. Second part is a solution. He says after this, he says, Nishkapate na bhajino toma. The diagnosis of how this offensive mentality remain in my because of this Nishkapate na bhajino toma. Very humbly acknowledges that I've been so duplicitous about himself. This way, in this way, he is only inspiring all of us. If we still fall into that category, that we could not worship sincerely and purely. It's a great lesson. Nishkapate na bhajino tama. Duplicity in many forms. Tricks. We are very tricky. Appearing in one way externally. Externally we appear, we sound, we try to look good, feel good, appear good. Appearing in one way externally, but in another way internally. That is duplicity. Pretext, so many excuses, duplicity, cheating, deceitfulness. So these are some synonyms of the word kapata. Kapata, which is inevitably becomes prakata. If some bad thought or negative thought remains within the mind and that the thought of mind never gets expressed through the speech, then it never becomes kapat. So best thing is that if duplicitous or deceitful idea or thought comes in the mind, an awakened soul, spiritual awareness, we should dissolve it in the mind, because that will cause only self-deprivation of the ultimate goal we are targeting to achieve. So being free from all connections with Maya, free from all ulterior motives, and completely identifying oneself with one's constitutional position is called Nishkapat Bhajan, meaning awaken in our constitutional position, ultimately in Sri Radha Darshan, identifying oneself as nothing but that. So that would be our worship free from duplicity. So if the thought of duplicity comes in the mind, I speak like this, and then I just cheat him or deprive him. So it should be dissolved in the mind, because what we express in words, and if our actions are completely opposite or otherwise, then it's called kapata. So due to bodily consciousness, different desires for profit, adoration, and distinction arise within the heart of the practitioner during his devotional practice. So as long as our bodily consciousness remains very strong, different desires for profit, adoration, and distinction arise within the heart of the practitioner during his devotional practice. It's the beginning stage. This is also a trick of Maya, so that worship of the Lord, this is how Maya tricks a sadhaka. Sadhaka is under protection of direction, pure devotee. Then he can be saved. That's why satsang and asatsang, association, the environment which is favorable for pure devotional practice, compared to becoming isolated from that satsang. By becoming isolated from satsang on one's own, if one tries to practice devotional service, be tricked by Maya, so that the worship of the Lord cannot take place in a non-duplicitous or sincere way. Asatsanga chadiye Vaishnavacha, in order to stay free from asatsanga or bad association. What one has to do, one has to just
तो आज
safeguard
तक
oneself to be in satsang all the time.
मैं बनाती तू ऐसा क्या करती
So
है जो
when
तेरे को एक दिन में
when
2-3 महीने का काम करना पड़ता है?
when Sri Guru, the Vaishnavas and the Lord are
2 महीने
externally,
होते हैं एवरी सैटरडे, मंथली 4 सैटरडेज होते हैं.
सब म्यूट कर दो अपने फोन को. When Sri Guru, the Vaishnavas and the Lord are externally worshipped, but the inner faith and devotion for them is not there. We become used to follow the norm, if we have to live, everybody is doing, so we have to do. But the inner faith and devotion for them is not there. Then there is duplicity. And then the real devotion will not follow. So, such a deceitful attitude result the result of offenses committed against great souls in the past. Why one develops, a sadhaka develops this deceitful attitude which deprives him to attain the pure platform of devotional service, because of it's the result of offenses committed against great souls in the past. If this duplicity does not go, even after commencing bhajan, consisting of taking up residence in the holy dham and associating now with the pure devotees, but the residual, the effect of offenses committed in the past, if they are not dissolved, what happens? Again, residual effect continues. See, what a warning. If this duplicity does not go even after commencing bhajan, consisting of taking up residence in the holy dham and associating with great saints, then this is a disease which becomes hard to cure. The duplicitous person, he thinks he's very smart, Okay, I left that place now. Forget about it. I'm very smart. So this duplicity has to be given up. It has to. How it will be done? How to become free from duplicity? Because it takes over the person. It has becomes his second, and he justifies. It's just like this. Prabhupada gives the example, like a shopkeeper. The customer comes and he tells the customer, "Oh, I'm not, I'm not, I'm not earning. I'm not earning any profit from you. I'm just giving you such a low price." One who listens to this, it sounds good. If he's saying this much, that I'm not profiting from you. If he does not earn profit, he will go hungry. He will be out of business. So that much. It's also lie or duplicity, just to impress the customer. Customer knows that, yes, if he does not make profit, he won't be in the business. But he feels good. So to make someone feel good and not harm, not just cause any. So that much is fine, because it is compared to putting salt in the flour. Some salt is put in the flour for making chapatis. So that much salt, that much duplicity is something depriving someone. But a duplicitous person thinks that by depriving others, he will be benefited. But actually, from a spiritual point of view, only he is self-depriving, because the duplicitous nature blocks his attaining the pure devotional platform. That's why it is a disease which becomes hard to cure. As a result of this, Guru, Vaishnavas, and the Lord himself will be Guru, Vaishnavas, and the Lord himself will be cheated in various ways. It is said, actually he's himself cheating. But as a result of this duplicity, yeah, he may do something which is not so good to Guru, to Vaishnavas, even to the Lord. So as if he is cheating Guru, Vaishnavas, and the Lord. Such a devotee whose heart is polluted by duplicity, because he appears to be a devotee because of his attire and his different activities he perform, but whose heart is polluted by duplicity will externally perform items of worship. But until he gets powerful association and mercy of the saints, this duplicity will not leave him. And there is no hope for him attaining sincere or pure devotional service. Wow. So what is the means? What is the solution? Get powerful association. In mercy of the saints, this duplicity will not leave him. And there is no hope for him attaining sincere, pure devotional platform. Those who do bhajana by surrendering to the lotus feet of Sri Guru, Vaishnavas and the Lord with a simple and humble heart. Those who do bhajan by surrendering to the lotus feet of Sri Guru, Vaishnavas and the Lord with a simple and humble heart will attain the good fortune of sincere devotion and will be blessed with their grace. Hence, Nautam Das Thakur says here, Tathapi tumi se gati, although I have become so fallen and so miserable, but still, only you are my shelter, you are my destination ultimately. Na chadivo pranapati, at least because you are only my ultimate destination, you are my shelter. At least you will not give up on me. So please don't give up on me. Ama sama nahi ko adam. There's no one more fallen than me. But still, you are my destination. So please don't let me down. Because if you let me down, there is no one more, there is no other shelter. Although I was not able to worship you in a simple and sincere manner, giving up everything and surrendering exclusively unto you, still you are my only goal. If I am really your innate, natural servant, and you are my eternal master, although your powerful external energy, Maya, has deluded me from a beginningless time, since time immemorial, making me forget your lotus feet and keeping me attached to all kinds of bodily things. Still, our relationship, my identity as your servant, still my servant-master relationship with you was not lost. So this is the expression of an awakened soul. He acknowledges his fallen and deplorable position, situation, the past or even present. But now enough is enough. Now I'm ready for you. So please don't give up on me. Although I'm very fallen, please accept me because you are only my destination. So actually you remain my only shelter and you will always remain so. Therefore, O Lord of my heart, although I have been tricked by your Maya and have become attracted to ulterior objects, leaving your lotus feet, still you do not abandon your eternal servant. There is no more fallen wretch. There is no more fallen wretch who is so wholly unqualified than me. If you are the savior of the fallen and I am the most fallen soul, then please attract this fallen soul with your own attributes. Like Brahma says, na Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobha. So Brahma is totally captured, attracted by the attributes and beauty of Krishna. An awakened, enlightened soul also prays. If you are the savior of the fallen and I am the most fallen soul, how can I be benefited? Then please attract this fallen soul with your own attributes and bless him. Bless me by giving me a place at your lotus feet that grant fearlessness. If a sadhaka who is thus surrendered to the lotus feet of the Lord offers such humble and eager prayers at the lotus feet of the Lord. Then by His grace, he will be blessed with the good fortune of sincere devotion. This is the conclusion of today's sloka. I think we can stop here and we can have some interaction. Thank you very much for your patient listening, and any question, comment, anything you would like to share, please come forward. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, everybody can hear.
Yes, Shaker.
Hare Krishna, Shri Guru. Dandot Pranam, Shri Guru. Fascinating satsang, Shri Guru, as always. स्तब्ध कर देने वाला श्री गुरु, एकदम stunning. Shri Guru, as a practitioner, Shri Guru, how do I understand what is the difference between paap and aparad, sin and offense, Shri Guru? Shri Guru, you are on mute.
It's the same, the difference between a papi and the offender. You know? What is the difference between papi and offender? So, papi is performed in ignorance, no? Correct? Papi is committed by the ignorance. They are not on the platform of knowledge. Offense is committed on the platform of knowledge. Offense is committed knowingly by a sadhaka. Those who are not sadhakas, they commit sins and they face the consequences, correct? But the consequences which the offender faces is more horrific. He's driving the soul. Uh, a, a sinner, sinful person because of ignorance, he's uh, he's he's causing the trouble to his mind and the body. Simple person, he faces the reaction. He has no idea about the soul. It's the true identity. But the offender deprives the upliftment of the soul of oneself. But because even after coming, that's why I share this point, even after coming on the platform of knowledge, sadhana, our but the bodily consciousness and its connections is very prominent. Although we say we understand, we appreciate spiritual knowledge and identity as eternal part and parcel of Krishna is still, unfortunately, the residual effect or the identification or the temptation and the attraction to think of oneself as one's body and bodily connections as one's own is very prominent. That's why taking full shelter of pure devotees, what it says, what is the solution? Those who do bhajan by surrendering to the lotus feet of Sri Guru. Vaishnavas in the Lord with a simple and humble heart. So that is the solution. So the sinfulness, sin is committed only in ignorance. Correct. Offense is committed deliberately. One commits a sin not knowing that it is sin. Correct? But one who does the wrong thing in spite of knowing this is wrong, that is offense. Because it self-deprives. So that's why knowingly if something is done wrong, it falls into the category of offense. So it deprives the ultimate benefit of the soul or oneself. So now because we have come on the platform of knowledge, we will not do things which will deprive the soul. How can we sabotage our own interest? If an ignorant fool does like this, then we can look down upon him. We can just feel pity on them. Or just say, oh, people are doing this in ignorance. But we have become blessed with the knowledge. So our responsibility to avoid and not do anything wrong, which will be categorized as offense, not just sin. So because of the wrong conditioning and the wrong atmosphere, environment, we fall back to the residual attraction of sinful activities. And knowingly, we just cannot check ourselves that this is wrong. Justify it. And remain duplicitous and whatnot. So until he gets a powerful association and mercy of the saints, this duplicity will not leave him. So Tato Du Sangam Utsajyada, 11:26-26. That's the only rescue point. Every sadhaka must contemplate on this sloka. Tato Du Sangam Utsajya Satsu Sajjeda Buddhiman Santah Evasya Chindyanti Mano Vyasanga Mukti Bhi. We must do ourselves a favor. Targeting, because who is Buddhiman? Buddhiman is a pure devotee, because by definition, Buddhiman means given multiple options, one who is able to pick up the best one, correct? The right one is Buddhiman. Buddhiman is an intelligent being, whom we call intelligent in our general understanding. He knows what is the right thing and what is not right. So one who has that discretionary power is called Bhaktiman. So in spiritual platform, how we will avoid making wrong choices. only by associating, only by becoming directed by one who makes always the right choice. Santah evasya chindanti, mano vyasanga mukti bhi. And that saintly person, eva means certainly, asya means his, one who takes shelter of him, one who agrees to come under his direction. Chindanti, shreds away, mano vyasangam ukti bhi, all the excessive attachments of his mind. He removes, shreds away, uproots by his powerful instructions. Ukti means powerful instructions, like that. So we can remain aware and awakened if we have the access to the direction of the association. Such devotees, advanced devotees, who are buddhiman because they always make the right choice. The conditioned soul, by very definition, is one who, given the multiple options, will inevitably pick up not the best choice. So this is the way to become free from offenses, or why one has to choose such thing is to commit offense, because he's not enlightened enough about what is in the offing, what is on the way, what fortune is awaiting us. We have to somehow or other, through our practice and through our scheduling our day, we have to sustain our remaining fascinated by this Krishna consciousness, whereby we will not entertain anything which will become a blockage for our blockage to our ever progressiveness. We have to stay progressive all the time until we are transferred to that realm. So our progressiveness cannot be like by peak for some time and just let go some time. No. We have to always target that which is yet to be achieved, yet to be attained, yet to be bestowed upon. All right?
Beautiful, Shri Guru. Satsang always, Shri Guru keeps us on the hook, on the check, and ever progressive, Shri Guru. Koti Koti Pranam, Shri Guru.
Do we have any other option? Hmm? Then embrace it, embrace that option. Then we'll be safe. Because only in ignorance one makes a mistake. No? If we have become aware what is right and what is wrong, it is our duty to oneself and also for others, towards others, that we take the right option, pick the right option only, forever. All right? Anyone else?
Hare Krishna, Sri Guru. Pranams.
Hare Krishna, welcome.
Thank you so much for such a transcendental satsang. It's somehow left me feeling slightly paralyzed. Every word I was hanging on. And yeah, really touching my heart really deeply. It feels like everything that you're describing is directed for me. And I just feel so ashamed and embarrassed about myself in so many ways. A question that was rising previously, but also in relation to the question just asked, is I've been wondering for a long time where on this spectrum from sin and aparad do actions that come from post-traumatic stress sit, because I notice that there's behaviors that rise in me that, maybe there's a rise of anxiety and it makes my behavior a certain way, or various different things that I know come, well, I think I know. I don't really know anything, but I feel like they come from a place of connected to a traumatic event. And so the way I can describe it is it's like it feels like unconscious at that point in time. Yeah, it's hard to formulate the question even. I felt so nervous about asking and it's been on the tip of my tongue for so long, but it just feels really important to ask about. So anything really, any guidance and
I get a sense of it. That's why those who are considerate of us, we can find association of those who will be considerate of us, because we need a lot of support. One needs a lot of support and encouragement. And that's why satsang, the very definition of satsang is to be in good association. Because those who are considerate of our position, situation, your situation, because through the satsang we become enlightened, and our desire to become awakened also is there. But our conditioning is so deep rooted, even we have no idea. So slowly and gradually, as our appraisal, as our appreciation for what is being given to us. So someone, one who is considerate of our situation, position, and who can provide encouragement and tolerance also, because a person who is going through mental and physical traumatic situations needs to find someone very caring and considerate person. Then slowly and gradually, with absolute faith in the words of Sri Guru, scriptures, and other saintly persons, any disease or any conditioning can be deconditioned. So that is the hope of Krishna consciousness. So this Krishna consciousness culture is the hope against all hopes. And enough is enough. We have lived this rotting life, this going through so many situations. We have lived many times, multiple times. So, as a human being, we can relate. Yes, if somebody is having that conviction, I think that just is. I have gone through. You have gone through. You know, if one has the courage and one has the determination, okay, it can be done. Yes, we can come out of the trap of this material temptations in the form of sinful desires and whatnot, because our potential is so sublime. We are meant for the gold medal. Why should we settle for anything else? So this is called self-motivation, and to find the association of someone who can remind us, hey, you are a gold medalist. You are meant to be a gold medalist. You are a would-be gold medalist. Then again and again reminding, again and again encouraging. Yeah, now that becomes our motivation. Yes, I can let go anything else which will block my getting the gold medal. Fall obsessively in love of getting a gold medal to attend Sri Radha Ashram. So that possibility is there. It is never taken away. So there is one question by Harsh Sharma. My question is, how can I channelize my criticizing natures? Yeah. Become critical of oneself. Easiest access. You don't have to make any effort to find anyone else. Become critical of oneself. I should become critical of myself, because we have to, because only I have the capacity to block my progressiveness. So when we become critical of others, then we become conscious of others' negative or shortcomings. It is described that when we open our eyes, or our inner eye, or the intelligence, Atmavat manyate jagat. What I think of myself will determine in what spirit my intelligence, or inner eye, or the external eye will target. Example is given, if somebody is in search of gold, if he's looking for the gold, or some piece of gold one has lost, if he finds some direction there, oh, maybe it is there, maybe it is there, maybe it is there, maybe that's where you left it. So even if one has to go through all the garbage and different things, so many foul things, shortcomings, because my heart is in search of the gold, I will not criticize even the garbage. What we are up to, we have to ask ourselves. Why should we have the time to criticize others? Lot needs to be changed. A lot of progress we have to make ourselves. If our motivation is to really become a pure devotee, we will be able to be able to see something good in everyone. Because are we not in the similar boat? So how can I think I am better off, or I have become better rather, from any point of view? Since eternity, we are stuck here, all of us, correct? So how can I consider that I'm better off, or I'm better than anyone else? Rather, in spite of having such positive or such a favorable situation for myself, I'm still stuck here. I have not attained the supreme as yet. But others are striving, other sadhakas are striving in spite of not having such favorable situation for them. Sometimes, many times I think, I'm blessed with so many favorable favors from the divine, from the supreme, and still I'm stuck here. If I'm stuck here, I cannot claim to be better than anyone else. Although I'm better off than many. So are we. We can think of billions of people, 8 billion people population, and out of them we are such a minority thinking along this path of pure devotional service. So we are better off being on this path and connectivity of Mahaprabhu. But can we really call ourselves better? Have I become better than anyone else? If my target and my obsession is not to attain Radha Dashyam, lot to criticize myself. Why should I waste time to criticize others? If I remain deprived, if I could not help myself, how can I help others criticizing others? So Mahaprabhu says, Bharata bhumite hoile manusya janma jar, janma sarthak kari kar paropkar. He says, first, fulfill your need first. Janma sarthak kari. Fulfill the purpose of this human potential. And then you can help others. Without first helping oneself fully, how can we actually help others by criticizing even? So that way, we can channelize our criticizing nature. Self-criticizing, one should become self-critical. And if we think of others and thinking of criticizing them, we should think that if I were in their situation, we must give them the benefit of doubt, that the intention is not bad. Why they act like the way they act, why they speak like the way they speak. So many issues, so many situations, so many past impressions, even within this lifetime, people have different strange natures and strange behaviors, strange reactions they make. What they have gone through, what their previous karmas, we should feel empathy towards them, that in spite of that, they are chanting Hare Krishna, they are able to do this much. In spite of so many frailties, in spite of so many things lacking, they are able to do. If I were in their position, would I be able to do even that much, as much as they are doing? So from either point of view, since we ourselves have yet to gain, make progress, so we can utilize our criticizing nature, criticize oneself, and that will do much better. That will be a very beneficial thing. All right, and one will find that because of this nature, one looks for criticizing others. बुरा जो देखन में चला बुरा न मिलिया कोई जो जग ढूंढा आपना मुझसे बुरा न कोई. I need rectifications more than anyone else. So this is how we can generalize one's criticizing nature. One has to be self-critical. It's a good nature, no? Just when we think of criticizing, we just spare ourselves and find someone else. We should not spare. One should not spare oneself to criticize oneself. All right? Welcome. All right then.
Pranam Shri Guru, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
It's really wonderful sharing. Uh,
Are you alone or with Swift?
Alone.
Okay. So you are okay.
Yes, as you told that Prem Bhakti Chandrika is a collection of guidelines. Really, mm, but the thought that comes in my mind that for me, what I find that your Amrit Bachan, the nectar which you are souring, are the perfect guidelines, are the perfect collection of all the guidelines. Uh, Today you told about humility, and which I like most, that offenses become an obstacle in the to grow the Krishna's holy name in our heart, and only mercy dissolves that offenses. Mercy can dissolve that aparadha, and then only the seed can grow into a beautiful plant in which the fruit of love, the fruit of divine feeling may blossom, and then it will be like, as you told, always the ripened mangoes, which is full of so much sweetness and nectar. So I find only my Shri Guru's mercy can dissolve the aparadha of all which resides in my heart, and then only it may be possible that someday the flower of love can grow in my heart. And as you, the line I love so much, that the hankering for Radhesham makes one so much Radhesham centeredness that it makes them free from all the self centeredness. And yes, you never forget to tell this line that we are Sri Radha's, the choices made servant. And it's really so beautiful to hear from you. And I just wish to say, you are the purifier of the most fallen, and I am the most fallen. I have no one but you, only you, oh my Shri Guru, Rupa Swamini, oh my sustainer. There is no one for me but only you, only you, oh my Shri Guru. You are my protector. You only have the power to dissolve all the brothers which resides in my heart and can make my stone-like heart fertile so that a beautiful plant of Krishna Bhakti, of Radha Dasya can grow in it. Thank you. Word is never ever sufficient. But though, thank you very much for all the mercies that you are showering at every moment. Thank you, Shri Guru. Pranam. Hare Krishna.
All right now, Kirtani
Hare,
Sada.
Hare Krishna, Pranam Shri Guru. We will all chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra minimum of 3 times with honor and love for our dear Shri Guru. Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
With
Hare.
all the love from our hearts, we will call out Om Vishnupad Paramhansa Parivrajakacarya Stotra Shat Shri Swamini Kripa Murti Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Bhakti Swarup Govind Maharaj ki Jai.
समावेत
Jai.
निताय गौर भक्त बिंद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। हरि 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 बोल। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे।
Hare Krishna, Pranam Shri Guru.
So just about in 1¼ hour, you can join the kirtan. All right? Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari 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 Hari. Akhil Rasamit Murti has also joined today. What's that name? Damodar Dasi. Okay, welcome everyone.
Hare Krishna, Pranam Shri Guru.
Hare Krishna, Sri Swamini Matiastu. Everything all right? Progressive? All right, we'll rejoin. We are joined. We'll just manifest our joining again. At 7 o'clock here in San Francisco. So you are all ahead of us, correct? It's very natural to see and feel that you are all ahead of us. We are feeling very joyful about it. All right? In some sense, correct? So we can find some sense, or at least one sense, in which we can see others is no less than us. That will block our tendency to criticize others. We have to find just one one point of view of seeing others ahead of us. We can always find that, correct? Not so difficult, correct? At least one point. That would do it. Hare Krishna. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari 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 Hari. Nitai Gaur Premanande.
Hare Krishna, Shri Guru Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Sri Swamini Mati Astu.
Pranam Shri Guru.
Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari.
Pranam Shri Guru.
Pranam Shri Guru.
Hare Krishna, welcome. Sri Swamini Mati Astu. We can definitely join.
Dandot Pranam Shri Guru.
Hare Krishna, Sri Swamini Mati Astu. Nitai Gaur Premanande.